Before he was called the enemy, before he was known as the deceiver, before the world feared his name, Manenani, he was light, he was music, he was beauty itself. Lucifer, the one who stood near the throne, the one heaven called perfect. But the truth is more complicated than we were told, because Lucifer wasn't always the devil. In the beginning, there was no evil in him, no darkness, no rebellion. He wasn't born in chains. He didn't crawl out of fire. He wasn't created to bring ruin. He was crafted by the hand of God himself, breathed into existence with purpose, with beauty, with splendor beyond comprehension. The prophets wrote of him with awe, calling him the morning star, the son of the dawn, full of wisdom, perfect in beauty, covered in precious stones, surrounded by music, anointed to walk in the very presence of holiness. He wasn't cast down from darkness. He fell from light, from the highest place to the lowest depths. And this is where the story begins to shift. He walked where no other could walk. He stood in the courts of heaven. He heard the voice of God, not through prophets, not through messengers, but face to face, surrounded by glory. Lucifer's purpose wasn't destruction, it wasn't deceit, it was worship. He led the songs that echoed through eternity. He carried light, not shadow. He reflected beauty, not brokenness. But something happened, something ancient, something silent at first, but deadly. A thought, a whisper, not from others, not from demons, from within. What if the throne wasn't enough? What if glory could be his? He didn't fall in a moment. He felt slowly, thought by thought, desire by desire, pride, growing in secret, until heaven itself couldn't hold him anymore. The fall of Lucifer didn't begin with war. It began in the heart, not with violence, but with pride. Pride disguised as beauty. Pride dressed as wisdom. Pride hiding beneath the brilliance of light. He looked upon his own perfection, the craftsmanship of God's own hand, and what once inspired worship began to inspire envy. He didn't desire to leave heaven. He desired to rule it. He didn't want to abandon the throne of God. He wanted to sit upon it. I will ascend, he said. I will be like the Most High. It wasn't hate that brought him low. It was ambition, silent, slow, deadly, and heaven does not share its throne. What happened next wasn't chaos. It wasn't thunder and fire, not at first. It was separation, a quiet fracture in the heart of eternity. Lucifer had chosen himself, chosen pride over praise, ambition over obedience, and so he was cast down, not because God feared him, not because heaven trembled, but because heaven cannot hold rebellion within its walls. The light bearer fell from the highest to the lowest, from angel to adversary, from servant to enemy. And with him, others followed. Countless stars pulled from the sky, countless voices silenced in their fall. But even in his fall, Lucifer did not lose his beauty. He did not lose his wisdom. He did not lose his desire. He twisted them. He became what he was never meant to be, not because God created evil, but because choice made room for it. Lucifer, the light bearer, became Satan, the accuser, the one who once reflected heaven's beauty, now twisted that beauty into deception. The one who once led worship, now craves worship for himself. He didn't change form, he changed purpose, he changed allegiance. And from that moment on, he began to build a kingdom, not of light, but of lies, not of glory, but of shadows. We imagine him in red, with horns, with fire. But scripture shows us something different. A deceiver does not look frightening. He looks familiar, comfortable, inviting. He still appears as light, but his light blinds. He still speaks of wisdom, but his wisdom corrupts. He still offers power, but his power destroys. He doesn't chase the wicked. He whispers to the righteous. He doesn't fear the strong. He flatters the proud. Lucifer's fall wasn't about war in heaven. It was about war in the heart. And that war continues. He lost heaven, but he gained the world for now. He prowls not to punish, but to persuade, not to scare, but to seduce. Because evil rarely announces itself with thunder. It comes softly, silently, promising what it cannot give. He doesn't demand your soul. He offers you yourself, your pride, your throne, your desire to be more without God, because he knows that's how he fell, and it's how he leads others to fall. Lucifer doesn't need to burn the world. He only needs to convince hearts that they deserve to reign without heaven, that they don't need saving, that they don't need grace, that they can be God's. But here's the truth. His story isn't finished. His power isn't eternal. His kingdom is temporary. He was cast down once, and he will be cast down again, not by angels this time, not by swords, but by truth, because light cannot coexist with lies forever. The story ends, not with his victory, but with his defeat. The scriptures tell us there will come a day when every knee will bow, every tongue will confess, not to Lucifer, but to Christ. The throne Lucifer wanted was never his to take, and it never will be. He will fall again, not from heaven, but from the earth, and this time there will be no return. So why does this story matter? Why speak of him at all? Because pride still whispers, because ambition still seduces, because his fall still repeats. Not in heaven. Here, now every soul faces the same choice, the same temptation, the same lie, to serve or to rule, to surrender or to grasp. Lucifer's greatest deception was not convincing the world he doesn't exist. It was convincing people they don't need God, that they are enough, that truth is optional, that light is found within themselves alone. But light, true light, doesn't come from within. It comes from above. From the throne he can never touch, from the king he can never defeat. And for all his power, all his lies, all his rebellion, he cannot change what is written. He cannot undo what has been promised. Grace remains, truth stands, the kingdom endures, and his end is certain. He fell from light, he fell from glory, he fell from heaven, and in the end, he will fall into silence. So when you hear his whispers, remember this: he is not the king, he is not the truth, he is not the light. He was, but he is no longer. He fell, and one day he will fall again. Because the story doesn't end with him, it ends with victory, with redemption, with light that no darkness can overcome.